one more round of applause for our VP being here in East Las Vegas. Come on. So, good morning, everybody. We'll try to be as brief as possible, but what an honor it is to have our Vice President here in the East Las Vegas Community Center, a mecca for so many different things. Number one, we're going to be early voting here. A lot of us have early voted here before. Some of us have gotten married. We've done quinceañeras here. We do community gatherings, debate watching. This is the mecca where people come together and unite for a common good, which is to better our community. And how amazing it is for us to have our Vice President here in front of individuals. And just so you know, Mr. Vice President, there's people here who all week work from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. so they can have a day off to see you today. We have people here, Mr. Vice President, who, like Lupe Arriola and Maria, who have been phone banking from their home every single day to make sure that you get elected in this city. We have Councilwoman Olivia Diaz. We're in her ward. Olivia.
Thank you.
And we have North Las Vegas City Councilman Isaac Barone, who's also a teacher and has been an absolute amazing advocate of our community. Thank you, Isaac.
I'm coming back.
Since you're coming through, it should be on.
No, not the
And
most.
I'll close it off with this. When you say Build Back Better, I know it's a slogan that we're using this campaign, but that's what this campaign is to you, is what it means to the community. Every time we've been hit, every time we've had problems, every time we've gone through something as a family, we come together and we come back stronger. That's what Build Back Better means to the
This
community.
mic, he's got these mics on the most, but not those.
Mr. VP, and thank you for using that, because for us, it's a way of living. We build back better. This is what this community exemplifies here. These are some of the hardest working human beings you'll meet, and they're going to make sure you get elected as Vice President. So with that, we want to hand it back over to Mariachi Raza de Rodrigo Vargas, please.
Do I speak now?
Thanks.
Max, come on up here. Come here. You can't get close. You stand right there, pal. Now look, I got a couple people I'd like you to lasso. You ready to move? I need to take you to Washington with me. You ready to do that? How old are you? 10 years old, double figures, man. I tell you, heading toward a teenager, you're really talented. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing it. You're worth the trip. Thank you. Just wanted to say thank you. Thank you. Edgar, thank you very much. You know, please sit down if you have a seat, if you have one. If you don't, obviously stand. And by the way, you're making me famous on television. I tell you. They asked me, is that my sister? I said, yeah. Yeah. Look, the thing I love about being here, and it's been about a year since September I was here last at this very spot, is the one thing we have in common. I mean this sincerely. I first ran for the United States Senate years ago, and I had one billboard. It said, for all our families. For real. That's all it said. That's all my literature, for all our families. And the thing I love about y'all, it's all about family. It's about family. It's about family and faith and loyalty. And that's what I think every time I think of here. And so I want to thank you. Now, I tell you what, Edgar planned on bringing in 20 horses in here, but he couldn't get them in today. Tell you what, I've had people campaign for me. I've never had them go through the neighborhoods with me on horses. But my dad, who was a real equestrian, would have really been flattered to know you're doing this. Folks, look, you know, it's great to be back at the center. And I don't have to tell you all, there's so much at stake. And, you know, here we are. We've gone through so much since I was here last. Because of the incompetence of this administration, 200,000, 10,000 people dead. We're in a situation where that's 40,000 Latinos nationwide. 40,000. 30 million people lost their jobs. 3 million Latinos lost their jobs. 1 in 3 Latino businesses have closed. And the deep racial injustices that Trump continues to fan the flames of. It's just wrong. You know, we have to end this cycle where in good times you're being left behind. In bad times you're the first in trouble. And as we come out, always the last to come out. You know, this crisis, we have, I think, though, an enormous opportunity to build back better. I'm going to be very short, so I'm not going to keep you standing very long, don't worry. But I really feel strongly about this. I think we're in a circumstance where, you know, you all understand it, but the American public is beginning to understand it. You are the core of the American story. You have the potential, you're already an economic powerhouse, but the potential to lead the country in the 21st century in the direction that we need to go. You have close to 20% of the population in the United States, 24 out of every 100 kids in grade school through high school are Latino. And it's ridiculous that we continue to policies that this administration has moved forward on and not embrace that and see it as our future. I'm not trying to be solicitous with you. I'm not trying to be nice. You are the future of the country. I mean, you really are. If in fact we're in a situation where the Latino community in the United States of America and the GDP, the wealth that they generate nationwide, if we just took just the Latino population, you'd be the 8th largest economy in the world, in the United States. Why can't we see that the future is just absolutely breathtaking if we just use our heads and begin to operate in a way that I think the American people are ready to do? The blinders have been taken off the American people. They get it. They understand. They understand that all those folks in the front lines, look at how many dreamers are out there risking their lives. I mean, you know it, but the American people don't know it. I keep telling them all over the country. The dreamers, there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of them risking their lives, making sure that people are staying alive, they can stay home. And so, folks, look, we're going to be in a situation where we can't make this, we can't do it without you all. We cannot win without the community. And I'm going to say something somewhat self-serving about you all. The fact is, you can determine the outcome of this election. Not just for president, but for the Senate, for the Congress. And that's the biggest mark. The single most consequential thing anyone can do is vote. And when you vote and they add it up and they see who delivered the vote, that's the thing that guarantees significant input on what happens next. So folks, early voting starts. The clock is ticking. Voting starts here in just 8 days on the 17th. And I encourage you to tell all your friends, go to iwillvote.com now. Make sure they're registered. Their addresses are up to date on the ballot. And they have a plan to vote. The early voting right here, right at this spot. So come back next weekend, bring your family, and bring 5 friends. I really mean it. Bring other people with you. Because he's trying to scare us. He's trying to convince everybody there's ways they can play with the vote and undermine the vote. They can't. If we show up, we win. And look what's happening in early voting all across America. Long lines. Long lines. We can't just win. We have to win overwhelmingly. So you can't be in a position where you can put the phony challenges that he's talking about. So folks, the American people, they're going to be the ones to decide our future. Not this President and Attorney General who is less than straightforward. You're the ones. So let's get out and vote. I know the sun is hot. I want to keep you standing. And I want to thank the elected officials. This we call a busman's holiday. That means, when a busman has a holiday, he has a day off, the guy driving, he doesn't get back on a bus. Well, these folks are all on the bus. They're elected officials, and here another elected official. I can't thank you enough for your support. I give you my word. I will do everything in my power to deliver on all that I've said. I mean it from my heart. You are family. Family and faith are what's driven this community and is going to drive this country. And so, folks, let's go get them. Every time I'd walk out of my grandpop, my grandpop wasn't. My grandpop was not Hispanic. He was an Irishman. And every time I'd walk out of his door up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, he'd say, "Joey, keep the faith." You know, my grandma, when she was alive, would yell, "No, Joey, spread it. Let's go spread the faith," okay? Thank you, thank you, thank you.